let's talk about the first project you're going to do this year. The Order of Operations project will be a great review for you to think about what's the proper way to evaluate expressions. What order do you go in? We talked about that a little bit in class. You explored that a little bit. This will be a way for you to creatively think about the order of operations. The whole idea here is that I could give you 12 problems to do, and you could knock out all 12 very quickly. But a little bit more creative way of thinking is for you to create the problems yourself. And that's just what you're going to do. You're going to come up with 12 expressions and following certain rules, certain constraints. And the idea is that the first one of them will equal 1, one will equal 2, one will equal 3, one will equal 4, all the way up to 12. So you have 12 different expressions that all equal something different, the numbers 1 through 12. Okay? Here are the rules. That's probably pretty easy, but so we'll make it a little bit more difficult. We're going to have certain constraints or certain rules that you have to use when you make your expressions. So first rule is you have to have at least 4 different numbers. At least 4 different numbers. So say you have 5, 6, 7, and 5. That's only 3 different numbers. They have to be different. Your expressions must be unique. So you can't do 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6. You're following a pattern there. You have all addition and you have you're subbing in one number. Where I normally see this is where people will do, they'll add and then they'll divide and then they'll subtract. Then they'll add, then they'll divide, then they'll subtract. They'll add, they'll divide, then they'll subtract. They do that for like 4 numbers or for 4 of their expressions. That's not very unique. Make sure you mix it up a little bit here. You must have a 2-digit number at least once in every expression. So all 12, each one has to have a 2-digit number to represent it there. Let's keep it under control though, just for, and I'll talk about why in a second. We're going to go from -50 through 50. If you want to use 75, too bad. Why don't you try something different like doing 3 times 25? You can still get to 75, but you just have to start with a number less than 50. Okay, it's an important point to make. These rules apply to your starting expression. So for instance, on the next one, if you start with 6 divided by 6, yeah, you're going to get 1, but that's okay because you didn't start with a 1. Okay, I'm going to add 1 in here. You can't use 1, oops, or 0. No zeros. Don't take the easy way out here. All right. All right. 3 of the following operations. Okay. Can't have just 1. So 3 of the following in each expression. So use 3 different operations, which should work if you have 4 different numbers. Okay. And then again, make sure you check your expressions. Make sure you do the math correctly. Here's how this is going to work. On a piece of paper, number it 1 through 12, okay? And you're going to, we're going to kind of make this chart here and have 2 columns off to the side. You are not going to do anything with these 2 columns. What you're going to do is you're going to get a friend, I can even help out with this, who's going to check your expressions to make sure you follow the rules that we listed here, and to make sure that they equal what they say. So if you put on this line here, if you write an expression, it should equal 1. If you write an expression here, it should equal 2. This expression should equal 3. This one is 4, all the way down the line to the bottom there, okay? I have a lot of people who mess this up. They just put the first expression they write up here. Well, it's got to equal 1, okay? So make sure you put that in order. Now, this is just your final. You should definitely be doing the work on a different piece of paper, but this piece of paper you're going to hand to your buddy, and they're going to check it for you. You get 2 different people to check it. You're going to see the deadline here in a second. The deadline to have your expressions written is Wednesday. Again, you want to get them done before that, that's fine. A lot of you will have them done tonight. Very, very easy process. I'm going to give you some hints at the end of the video here. But you got to have them done, written by Wednesday so that you have time to check it before you start making the final product here. All right? So here's how we're going to score this thing. Notice every single one of these items in the rubric, okay, and add 1 or 0, it has points assigned to it. So you follow the rules, you write your expressions correctly. This is extremely important. Make sure they're correct and they equal what you say they equal. You get 23 points. After that, okay, so after you've got your expressions written, you've got them checked by two friends. They say they're okay. And by the way, friends, when you check, you need to write your name in the box saying that you signed off that this was correct. So don't you dare check it off if it's not actually correct. That could come back to bite you. Okay? So once you've done that, we're going to display our problems. Now, this is what you see in the directions in the packet there in the other folder. This is all well and good. Circles are cute and everything like that. But I'm going to say no. Instead, let's do this. This is more interesting. I want you to pick something that represents who you are as a person. And I want you to use that to display your expressions. So once you have all your expressions written, checked off, they're all correct. So 23 out of 23, okay? Once you have that, you're certain that you're going to get all those points. You're going to take them, you're going to put them on a project, like the ones we have hanging at the front of the room. And you'll notice if you look at the front of the room, each of those has the expression and the number that it equals. Again, don't get that mixed up. Make sure you don't put equals 4 if it's your 7 expression, okay? So make sure that you have that, because that's what I'm going to be checking. I'm not going to grade you off of this page. I will grade you off of your final project, okay? I can check that other page for you to make sure you're following the rules and make sure that they're correct, but I'm not grading at that point. I'm only going to grade it once you turn this thing in, okay? So what we're looking at is a total of 30 points and 5 points for getting your expressions done. All right, getting them done by Wednesday. You're going to be graded on the following things. And you need to write down, take a minute, take your time tracker out and write down these 2 deadlines. August 29th for the expressions, September 5th for the finished project. Everything's done, it's beautiful, it's ready to hang in the room, it's ready for me to grade. Now that we've gone through the rules, we've gone through some of these things, let's talk about some strategies you can use to write these expressions very, very quickly. Now, I'm going to write one right now. You are not allowed to use this expression, of course, but just to give you an idea. Now, I've got the rules here. It's a good idea to have these sitting next to you when you do this. First of all, I'm not going to write number 1. Okay, this one has to equal 1. I'm not going to do that. Okay, I could, but I'm just going to come up with an expression that equals something between 1 through 12, and then use it for that, okay? And gradually I'm going to eliminate and work my way down, which means at the end you will have to make it equal something, so it's a little more difficult, but at the beginning it's a lot easier. So first thing I see is I need at least 4 different numbers. I also see one of them has to be 2-digit, okay? So I'm going to pick a 2-digit number. I'll pick 12. And then I'll pick 2 others. Notice I'm only going to pick 3 right now. So I'll pick, I'm going to pick 6. I'll tell you why in a second. And I'll pick 8. So I have 12, 6, and 8. Next thing I need to do, I need 3 operations. So I'm going to pick operations to put here and here. I picked 6 so that I could use division. So 12 divided by 6, okay? And let's do plus here. All right, so if I evaluate this so far, again, this is not my finished one. I have 2 plus 8. That gives me 10. And now I can make this equal whatever I want by picking my next thing. Now, I'm not going to pick division or addition, because again, that would only give me 2 different operations. I have division, addition, division. It's only 2 different ones. I want to pick a 3rd different operation. So if I pick multiplication, I'm going to have to use a fraction to make this less than 12, right? So why don't I pick subtraction? Notice I'm just giving you some thought process here for you to go through. And let's say we wanted this to equal 1. Well, then all I have to do is minus 9. And I have my expression that equals 1. Notice how quickly that is. And the key here, though, is make sure that your last number is different from your previous 3. and you can speed through this very, very quickly. Be careful when using division and multiplication. If you want to add before you divide, like say I didn't want to divide by 6, say I want to divide by 6 plus 8, order of operations says I need parentheses before I can do that, okay? I didn't want to add, I wanted to divide first, so I don't need parentheses there. That's the other thing. If you throw parentheses in, if I do that, I don't need those parentheses. That doesn't count as an operation. So if you're going to use parentheses, make sure they count. So be very careful. A lot of people mess up based on either needing parentheses or using them when they shouldn't. That's it. Please, please let me know if you have any questions. There's a lot of little rules and nuances. Take a stab at a couple of these tonight. Don't forget also, you need to read your rules and procedures document if you haven't done so already, and email me telling me that you have done so.